Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. Another Sunday fun day. Doing some work on the 1964 Impala chassis. As seen in that little montage there at the beginning, been working on this guy right here, the rear axle. So I got the pit bowl axle slid in, got everything bolted together, got the brakes on, got the wheels on. And basically, I need to see this car on the ground, or at least the chassis. It's been almost 7 months to the day since I took the chassis out from underneath the car, and it's killing me. I gotta see it on the ground. I need some, I just need some really good motivation, and want to see it on the ground. I need to check actually a couple things for clearance with the suspension fully bottomed out. But I'm also going to be putting the motor transmission together just temporarily. That way I can get it in the frame, get all the weight on the chassis, and get that ready for drilling those cylinder holes. So you'll see that in this video. Probably won't throw a converter in it. It's just for mock-up. I have the converter, but it's just one of those things. I have some new parts to show, so we'll do that, and going to be lots of fun. So stick with me. Here we go. Here we go. Hope you can hear me. First time in 7 months off the chassis, rotisserie. Here we go. Makes me a nervous wreck. So here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is what a day's worth of work has gotten me. I did have to take a break for a couple hours to go do some stuff with the family, but I got the frame safely on the ground, and rolled the motor and trans out. This is my 327 that's going in the car. This is my Power Glide. A lot of guys were like, you know, why waste your time with the Power Glide, blah, blah, blah. That's factory paint, guys. That's not been repainted. Those are factory marks. This motor trans is just a tick over 40,000 miles. It's in really good shape, so we're gonna use it. And if I decide to upgrade to an overdrive later on down the road, then that's what I'll do. But let me show you the frame, because I know that's what everybody wants to see this thing on the ground. Take note, I do not have springs in this yet, because I need to get this frame as low as possible to get it back under the car very soon, because I'm going to do convertible body mounts. And to clear those 4x4 sections that you see right there, well, I need to get this thing as low as possible. So the back end's, you know, obviously it's pretty low. The front end, I'll post a picture. It goes way, way, way down without the coils. I mean, to the point to where the spring pockets bottom out on the lower control arms, which will actually be perfect for when I go to roll this thing underneath the car. That's gonna help me a lot. So there she is on the ground for the first time in 7 months. Pretty much ever since I got this thing on the rotisserie. It's man, I tell you, I told another buddy of mine, Max, about this. First time seeing this thing on the ground gave me goosebumps, because until you've built something like this or put this much effort into a build, you know, you always visualize what you think it's going to be, and then the moment you see it, it either happens or it doesn't. And for me, it happened. You know, building these trailing arms, you guys watch me do that on the channel. I've never built trailing arms before, so that was the first time, and there's a lot of math and geometry and stuff going on right there. You know, there's a lot of guys that make this look simple, but make no mistake, it's because those guys have worked their butts off trying to figure this stuff out and do things right. And yeah, big accomplishment there. So I do have the front end on some jack stands. I'm gonna test fit this motor trans, like I was saying earlier in the video. One, because I've changed some stuff and I haven't changed some things. It's kind of hard to explain, but so I've plated this frame, we all know that, but I want to check clearances on everything. The bottom of the oil pan, shifting linkage, all kinds of different things. I want to make sure the headers, you know, aren't touching anything. The factory exhaust manifolds, as you can see there. Just stuff like that, you know, it's the unknowns that I want to get out of the way. And I'm gonna have it sitting like this for a couple days before I try to roll it underneath the car, because I want to make sure I got a buddy around or somebody who can help me this time. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna bolt this trans up to this motor, and it won't be like, you know, I'm gonna start the car. It's just enough to get it in the frame, see what she's gonna look like, and make sure everything clears. All right, so here we go. So here we go. After a pretty lengthy time lapse, got the motor mocked up in the frame with the trans. Guys saw me struggle a little bit there, but that's just, you know, one guy in his garage doing it by himself. But it's okay, I got it done. It's not the first time I've pulled a motor or put one in, believe me on that. Not really any surprises. I really didn't know what to expect, to be honest with you, because like I said before, I've never reinforced a frame on an X frame like this. So, you know, you don't really know what you're gonna run into. I didn't really alter any of the factory mounts. It's just, I was worried about like the front cross member, you know, closeness, how close that is to the oil pan. And as you can see, a pretty good amount of daylight underneath there. So I feel pretty good about that. Everything looks great. It's it's been a long time coming, but yeah, so I'm pretty stoked about all this. I did not put, so I have some new parts. I'll go over those parts in a minute, and one of those is the new transmission mount. This one still had an old one on it. Sorry, but I do have another one to put on it. New motor mounts, you guys see me put those on. Kind of one of those things where it's like I really didn't have a choice. I have the old ones, but they're shot. So got the motor on there and trans on there, and everything looks good. It reminds me of those model cars as a kid, trying to put stuff together. It's just one piece at a time. So I do have some new parts to go over. The first one's gonna be a big one. That right there is a KBS frame coater kit. So KBS is a product that's sold typically at Napa, but you gotta be careful if you're looking for it, because not all Napa locations carry it. So call ahead of time, make sure you can get it. But it's very similar to a PR15 rust inhibitor. This one happens to be the kit. So it's got the phosphate spray, kind of like a pre-wash, where you would spray all this metal down and it kind of etches everything. And then it's got the cleaner, and then of course the paint itself. And what it is it's a brush-on kit, and it's self-leveling. So it's supposed to be UV protectant and pretty durable stuff from what I've seen. I know a few guys that's used it. A couple guys in the dedication car club that I'm prospecting for have used it, and this is the satin kit, and that's the way I like that look. I like the factory sheen. I don't want anything too glossy, but it looks like it covers well. Like I said, it's self-leveling, so you can brush it on or spray it on. I chose to brush it on just simply because of my setup here at home. I don't have a paint sprayer system or nothing like that. But anyways, so I got the frame coater kit. Forgive me, I'm gonna take a seat here on the frame. Power steering brackets, finally got all that stuff tracked down. I got the road draft tube, which is this guy here. I know a lot of people delete that, but it fits the actual air cleaner that I have, so I'm gonna utilize that. That would be replacing that right there. So somebody at one time put a breather on it, and all I have to do is basically just clean this up, put a new O-ring in it, and bolt it to the intake, and it'll be good to go. Do you have to have that? No, you do not. With a breather and, you know, a way to vent the crankcase, you can eliminate that. But it's kind of cool. It's factory stuff. I'm going to use it. So let's see. So yeah, I got those brackets. I started cleaning those up. Those are the power steering pump brackets, correct, for a 64 327. I think they're the same for 283. Don't quote me on that, guys, if you have a 283. But so next is I got to pull that guy right there, and I got to save this cap, because these caps, you'd think they wouldn't be so damn hard to find. These original ones, whew, they get a little pricey. What else did I get? So you guys saw the motor mounts, and got a starter. So this is a factory 327 starter, and of course the new power steering pump, which is, it don't look like that. That's just a generic small block Chevy. It looks exactly like the original. I got it as close as I can just for that OG look. Still, you know, I'm gonna have to get power steering hoses and whatnot for the CPP 500, but I can make that stuff adaptable. It'll work just fine. But a big part here that I got that I wanted to show everybody is that guy right there. So I've been looking for one of those for quite a while, and it's a 1310 yoke for a Powerglide. And let me be the first to tell you, you would think it would be easier to find those because they made something like, I think 4 million of these cars. Don't quote me on that. I'm just trying to go off the top of my head. Point is, they made a lot of them with Powerglides. And you think it'd be easier to find one of those, but it has not been. And I've posted on social media looking for one, and I sent a message out to a big supporter of me and the channel. We talk all the time. Great people on that channel, Lone Star Lows, and he actually had one, and he hooked me up. So thank you, brother, for that. I appreciate you very much. I really do. It's gonna make the project a lot better getting that together. So having that is a big deal for me, so I can progress, getting the drive shaft set up and getting a slip yoke for the rear. So I don't know how many of you guys know, but if you ever run a Powerglide in these cars, it has a special spline, which is coarse, as you can see. It's not fine like a 350 turbo or a 700R or anything like that. It's old school stuff. So just keep that in mind if you ever decide to do that. Also something to note, super sport cars got the correct floor linkage for that. So that's a pretty big deal. I do have the kickdown. That's another thing I got, is the kickdown that mounts to the bell housing right there. That was a big deal getting that. So that's one piece to the puzzle that I don't have to worry about now. And I'm gonna be drilling some holes pretty soon, getting those bad boys in there, figuring out how much I need to cut off of those, and roll this thing back underneath this mess in the garage over here and figure out these convertible mounts. I know one of them goes roughly somewhere in here. I don't know exactly for sure. And then if I remember right, there's one through here somewhere. So getting that under the car, finding out where it hits the brace on the frame, and then I can fabricate those mounts, get those welded to the car, and then, welded to the frame, and then it's just start stripping it down and getting ready for paint and get this motor stripped down. I'm not rebuilding this engine. I know it's a great engine. It's a runner. It's a very strong runner, and so it's basically just going to be a cleanup and try to preserve everything I have. This is not the correct alternator. A friend of mine loaned me that just so I could kind of sort of mock up the brackets to make sure everything was lining up, because 64 327s have a pretty unique bracket right there, and you're fighting with Corvette guys for some of these parts, because the 327 Corvette, power pack option cars would use these bracketry too. So you're gonna pay out the wazoo for a bracket that's shouldn't really be that expensive. And then of course, correct clutch span for this car. So pretty stoked about that as well. But yeah, she's coming together, guys. It's been a long journey. So just wanted to show everybody what's up. And now I'm gonna set you guys up and let's do a speak on it. Here we go. All right, so thanks for sticking to this long in the video. Today's speak on the topic is going to be a real simple one that I'm sure a lot of you who are car builders or mechanics or painters or whatever it is that you do will understand. And even the new guys, if you haven't hit that moment, you will soon. It's staying focused, being patient, give yourself time, space. Sometimes a project like this can be so overwhelming that you just got to walk away from it. And there's been a few times that I've had to do that, just because it's, yeah, we want to have fun. We guys like us, ladies love this stuff. But sometimes it can be pretty stressful trying to hit a deadline or do a certain thing. And I got to be honest with you. So when I pulled this frame out from underneath this car and started this whole process, I gave myself until spring. That was my goal, to get the chassis fully boxed, suspension fully installed, and motor and trans sitting in it. And I am blessed to say that I've done it. I mean, this is the product. This is the 7 months of hustling, trying to, you know, every nut and bolt, I've touched everything on this car, you know, probably 3 times. So it's been a long time coming, but the point I'm trying to make is just staying focused. Don't be too hard on yourself, and take your time, and remember, this is fun. This is supposed to be an enjoyable experience. And it's kind of been twofold for me. It's been very enjoyable for the fact that, like, if I'm at work and I might have a stressful day, or if it's been a long day, it's been a rainy day, I just want to go home and work on this thing. I come out here and I turn some wrenches, even though it might be freezing cold outside. It doesn't matter. I'm still getting something done, and that makes me happy. It's pretty rewarding. The flip side to that whole thing is that I've had so much support from each and every one of you, each and every viewer who has messaged me, who has stopped me at shows. I mean, I get messages, it seems like all hours of the day and the night, and that's okay. I'm grateful for that. But having people who support me and I try to give back to them, it's to be honest with you, that sometimes is more rewarding than actually turning a wrench, because I know there's guys out there who are doing the same exact thing that I am, who are trying to make that dream come true. And if I can help them in any way at all, I will do my best to do that. And everyone that's reached out to me, I've tried to message back, you know, as quickly as I can. Guys have asked me a ton of technical questions, and I've said from the start, anything I do on this channel is not the gospel. It's just me and how I learned how to do things over the last 20 years, 25 years, turning wrenches on cars. And do I know everything? Nope. And I've had some guys message me and say, hey bro, you know, you might want to do it this way, or you might want to do this differently. And I appreciate all that advice. It's great. And I've taken some of those suggestions and implemented them on this build. So I'm very thankful for that. And I've had a lot of really close friends and family, some great friends of mine who have stepped up and said, hey man, I'm here for you. What do you need? How can I help you? Of course, my wife, my kids, my 2 best friends in the world, Ryan and Danny. If it wasn't for those guys, I wouldn't be nearly as far along as this. And then of course, the guys like Max, Cadillac Dan, Lone Star Lowe's, each and every one of you guys have just been great and helped me get to the stage that I'm at. So it's kind of like a team thing here, and I appreciate that. And hopefully I've been able to give something in return to those guys. So, and of course, the other thing that's part of that is I've had some amazing support from a lot of companies who have been there for me through all the questions that I've had. Pitbull Hydraulics with the rear end, that was a big one. CC Hydraulics, Cool Cars Engineering, those guys down there have been great. Switches by Jay, I mean, the list goes on. And of course, you know, guys like Max at the shop with his company that he has and what he does. Just great support with these businesses and companies, and that's what we need more of in this industry and this hobby, lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. So big thanks to each and every one of them. To everybody that's reached out to me, just remember a couple things. Have fun, stay the course, don't give up, don't be afraid to walk away if you have to, and just come back to it when you're mentally and physically able to do it. And of course, I'm always here, so feel free to hit me up. And again, thank each and every one of you for being subscribers, watching the channel, and being here for me. So big things to come. Things I'm working on right now, I'll be implementing soon, hopefully, now that the weather's turning and I can be out here pretty much full time. So anything with what you've seen here today, got questions for me, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, please, if you are not subscribed. It helps me out. It helps out the algorithm so people can reach me in this channel. And hopefully I can help some guys get further along on their projects. So until next time, take care, God bless, and we'll see you on the flip side. Peace. Couple quick shout outs. Daniel McQuiston, RJ Tickler, AJ Dominic Francis, Joseph Evans, Low and Slow, Sammy. Christopher Ortiz. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.